And we are back with another Black Window Cream podcast. New episode every single Wednesday and Sunday. I'm your host, Ben Haggerty, a.k.a. Ben Real Verse World. Yeah, what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in today. We have Zoe Rain on the podcast. I'll get into who she is in a second. But before I do, today we will be announcing the winner of our second contest with Dutch Bros Coffee. We are revealing that on our Instagram. So go to Black Window Cream on Instagram and you will find out who the winner is. Congratulations to our winner. I'm obviously recording this much in advance, so I don't know who the winner is at the time of recording this, but I have to take a trip, so I have to do it early. Anyway, congratulations. Big announcement. We're doing another contest. Yep, I fucking said it. A third and final contest with Dutch Bros. It's been fun. I'm so glad that we were able to strike this deal with them and get them to do 3 contests where they've done the most insane prizes and options for people to compete. Not only are they like giving a platform for creators to be shared on their accounts, on their social accounts and all that stuff, but they're sending product to people all over the US. They're literally flying winners places, giving job opportunities, which is incredible, building these like extended relationships with a massive company like Dutch Bros for creators who might not be able to get in touch with people like this. It's pretty fucking cool. So shout out to Black Window Cream for being the place that did it. I'm proud of that shit. And shout out to Dutch Bros for being the ultimate plug. The new contest number 3. This is how it's working. Okay. Signups begin August 5th at 7 p.m. Pacific time at bwnc.dutchbros.com. So at 7 p.m. that's going to go live. You have to sign up because there's only 150 people that can get the spot. So first come, first serve. Good luck. That's it. This is how it's going to work. Dutch Bros wants to unleash your creativity. The concept for this one is Colors and Lights Experiment. Not a very catchy name, but we wanted to leave it at that because we're interested to see what you guys do. It's time to get creative with lights. Content for the video entry is limited only by your imagination as long as it promotes the awesome public image of Dutch Bros, its values and products. Winners will receive contracted work for Dutch Bros sponsored Life is Beautiful Festival in Las Vegas, Nevada. Room and travel paid plus $1,000 for the content that you capture at the festival. You'll be working alongside Dutch Bros creative content team to capture captivating content of Dutch Bros involvement with the Life is Beautiful Festival. This could be your chance to get some real portfolio work to take your career to the next level. Holy shit. Life is Beautiful. Go Google it right now. See who's headlining. I'll tell you. Chance is headlining, I think. Post Malone's headlining. I think Lil Wayne's headlining. I think there's a million artists that are playing on this festival. They're literally shutting down like the strip, I think, and putting grass and shit. I don't really know. I've never been, but this is a huge opportunity, guys. We're flying someone to Las Vegas to shoot shows and shit and get incredible content for their reel or for their website or whatever you need to do to promote yourself and get new jobs out of this. You can parlay this motherfucker like a gajillion times. So shout out to everyone that's going to compete in this contest. Good luck. We're only allowing 150 people to sign up for this contest, so make sure that you guys sign up. bwnc.dutchbros.com, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Set alarms, mark your calendars, put post-it notes on your fucking face, whatever you need to do. But we're interested to see what you guys do using lights to get creative. Cool. All right. So good luck on that. Today is Zoe Rain. I've been following Zoe for a minute. I found out about her through Macklemore. Macklemore has had her go on several of his tours with her from the jump. She's originally from the same area as them, so like they've been working for a long time together, but Macklemore reached out to me one time to go on tour with him, and so I started paying attention to some of the creators, and I found her and I really liked her work, and the way she captured him on the road was really, really cool. She's got some fantastic work. She's out of Chicago, so it's been tough to get her on the podcast. I've been meaning to do it for a while. Every time she's in LA, she's pretty busy, but this time we got her. So hell yeah. Shout out to the milestones that we make here at Black Window Cream. But yeah, it was cool. We got to share a story, talk about how she kind of got into all this shit and what she does to stay busy. And I think you guys are really going to like it. So tune into this one. That's it. I don't think I have anything else to plug. Contest's going to be cracking. If you're bummed because you just found out about it now and you wish you would have found out about it earlier so you could prepare for that 7 p.m. launch time, you should join us on Patreon because we tell you guys a couple days before we tell any of the people in public what's going on with our contest. Patreon.com/BlackWindowCream. You can also get the How to Charge a Client guide there, which is a 50-page plus guide on how to make more money when charging your clients. The theories in this book are fucking incredible. We worked really hard on this shit. I'll probably say it every podcast from now on because we're proud as hell of this guide, and the reviews that we've gotten from the people that have gotten it so far are incredible. So thank you guys for reading it so far. I'm glad to hear that people are literally, it sounds so fucking scammy because it's like, I'm glad to see people are making money because of this guy, but literally people are like, yo, I put in like 2 of the practices you said in the guide and I've already made my first $5,000 deal. I'm like, holy shit, give us a 1K. You know what I mean? Give us 1K, bro, instead of $25. Anyway, shop BWNC.com. You can get the guide there, or you can get on Patreon. That's it. Yeah, that's it. All right, cool. Let's get into the intro right motherfucking now.
Attention.
If you stop this podcast recording at any time, you will die.
I don't want to die.
Do you want to live?
You have 24 hours to share this podcast with 5 people or you will die.
I'm kidding, you won't die. You're just weak shit for not sharing.
And the winner of the best motherfucking podcast goes to...
Black with no cream.
What do you think?
It's so fucking dumb and so fucking Ben Haggerty.
I knew you would say that. And we are back. Another Black with No Cream podcast. It's a weird intro. Sorry to make you sit through that. Zoe Rain, everybody. I'm glad to have you on this show. I think I've tried to get you on it like 3 times.
Yeah, our wires have been crossed a few times.
I think you're pretty busy when you come out to LA.
Yeah, I usually am not here for longer than a couple days.
Because you're working, or what's the deal?
Yeah, I'm usually out here for a shoot and then don't have enough time to...
But do you like LA?
I love LA.
So you should stay longer.
Yeah, good plan.
Knock out some pot. It is a plan. What are you thinking, like move here maybe?
I think I'd like to do bi-coastal. I feel like I have a life in Chicago kind of set.
Yeah.
But I need to start coming here for like maybe the winter.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, it's freezing as hell in Chicago.
Yeah, it's a little depressing.
You got the wind coming off the Michigan Lake, and it's just like terrifying. How do you get around in the winter?
I don't. I
You
don't
stay?
leave my house. Yeah.
Stay put.
100%.
You're a fantastic photographer,
Thanks.
by the way. I don't know if anyone's told you this before, but just like scrubbing through your feeds, and your website's fire too, by the way.
Oh, thank you. No one ever goes to the website anymore.
The website's crucial.
Yeah.
I feel like anyone that's paying you money is probably going to your website.
Yeah, hope so.
I just deleted my website the other day. I don't know why, so I got to redo that because it's crucial. Your photography work though, like you've worked with pretty much everybody on earth. Everyone that's cool, I would say.
I mean, working on it. That's the plan.
No, you have like a solid ass list of clients and everything that you've worked with. I'm just like looking through your photos, but your stuff's really good. And I feel like you got like a really cool looking like the portrait world. I feel like you kind of crushed that.
Thank you.
Would you say what style of photography is like your favorite?
Yeah, I think ultimately the portraits are where I'd like to head. Whether it be, I love live music, but
Yeah.
like being able to have those intimate moments with artists in a portrait setting is a lot more like, I think that's a more unique situation anyway. Like everyone has the same photo from the photo pit, but having that one-on-one time is super crucial.
Right. Is that would you say it's like hard to obtain that, or do you usually have to have like the assistance of like a magazine or someone that's trying to conduct an interview or whatever where they would need those portrait photos, or is it easier? Have you found ways to like, say you're shooting a show, to get an artist to like come over here for like 5 minutes and just I have something set up, how do you approach it?
Yeah, I've been lucky to get most of my portraits kind of organically, or like being in a setting where there's an overlap of artists that are in the same space, or like festivals backstage where I'm able to kind of get that photo really quick. And I've gotten really good at being like, I need literally 4 of your seconds of your time.
Right.
Like, let me get this. And there's been a few where I've had like magazines help out, but it's generally just trying to like reach out to managers or just get that shot in the moment.
Right. I learned about you. Damn, I don't know when I learned about you, but I started following you like a few years ago, I think. But specifically, I remember seeing you on Macklemore's tour, doing all of his photos or whatever on that tour. Which tour was it? Have you done multiple tours for him?
Yeah, I started in 2013, which was like the big boom of his career
right
thing.
So did you do that arena tour too? Mm-hmm. So you've been on all those?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
A youngin' running around.
How old were you when you...
I think I was 20 in the first one.
So
when I went
sick.
to Europe. Yeah. I'd
So insane.
Never been to Europe, let alone like backstage to these crazy clubs and venues.
It's so crazy. Was it... So you were born in Seattle?
Mm-hmm.
So you guys started networking. I'm sure you shared this story a million times, but I guess just how did that all kind of come to be? Because was that like your first big client per se.
Yeah, I mean, I was still in high school when I started shooting him. Like, just that was like I would turn photos of him in for my photo class assignment.
So
I was
tight.
like, I don't know what else to shoot. Yeah, so my like mentor at the time was like good friends with Ryan Lewis and was taking photos and videos for them just as a friend.
Yeah.
And they were, you know, still a small local artist kind of gaining momentum. And then Thrift Shop came out and like really just blew them out of the water. And I happened to be around at the time.
So nuts. Was there anyone else that was shooting photos of them, or was it just you?
We have there's a team of people that kind of were in and out, but
Yeah.
I think I was the one that really ended up, you know, sticking in that group and kind of pursuing that like as a full-time opportunity.
Right. What do you think made them like you over everyone else?
I don't know. I ask myself that all the time.
You don't know what it is? Were you like doing like quick turnarounds, or were you just, I don't know, just trying everything, or just being readily available? Like,
I think it was a combination of all those things. I think I had a really strong work ethic and like really wanted it, and I was thirsty for it, and you know, made that clear, and you know, did whatever I needed to do to be above and beyond. And I also think I was like a shy, quiet kid in high school, and I could really like blend into the background of a situation. So like me tagging along for a recording session, like I wasn't some kid getting up in their face. Like I'd kind of
fly on the wall.
disappear. Yeah, I think that was appreciated.
right. Especially in that like documentary style.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, capturing for artists. I feel like that's super necessary in most cases. But I think there's like a whole new genre of photographers, videographers that are like super obnoxious, maybe, or just want to be able to say they took a picture of whoever. And I don't know, I just feel like there's a difference, and I could tell that through your work too, especially seeing like his camp sharing the photos and all this stuff. It's like you can really tell that it's more than just one concert photo or whatever. There's like moments in the background, or someone, you know, whatever it is, like whatever you guys are doing on day offs and stuff, but you can kind of capture that and explain that in one photo. That's dope.
Yeah, and that's such a like level of trust too. I mean, I think that took so long to be in that space where people can be vulnerable around you and know like you're not going to leak some ugly weird photo of them in their underwear.
Right.
You know, it's like a back and forth.
Right. When did you get into photography?
I would say high school. I think I always enjoyed it, but I never thought it was a way to make money by any means. And then, you know, I didn't know what I was doing in high school and had that mentor come in, and I was like stoked to just be doing wedding photography. I was like, this is the end goal. Like, this is the dream. Like, I'll
Make the
just
money.
take photos of seniors and weddings and babies, and like that will be my life.
Is that what your mentor was doing?
At the time he was.
Right.
And now he's like gone on to just doing video and like music videos for the biggest artists in the world. Like, his trajectory is just insane.
Who is that?
His name's Jason Koenig.
Cool.
Yeah, so him and his wife are like a duo,
That's
married
dope.
couple, and they're like best friends with Ed Sheeran and like doing great. I
Ill
don't
ass
even
shit.
know.
That's
They're
so
always
crazy.
Not in the country, yeah.
Have you worked with them since, like, you kind of did your own thing? Do you guys-
Yeah, I mean, they're like family at this point.
Right.
It's been an ongoing, it's almost been like 12 years now that I've known them, but
Damn.
yeah, it's very much family.
I thought the same thing. I thought I was kind of going to get into like this weird, like, just doing wedding videos and trying to find cool ways to do those at the time, just because it seemed like the easiest way to do it. And then my photography friends were doing wedding. I mean, that was the only thing I really paid. I don't know what the difference is in Seattle. Is pretty, like, it's a big city. I don't know what other ways is there to like kind of create art but still get paid for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think starting out, especially like weddings are so lucrative.
Yeah.
And I'll still like shoot a wedding.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think there's some people that are like, I don't do that. Like, that's not my vibe. I'm too cool for that.
Right.
I'm like, I don't know. I'm not too cool to get paid. Like,
Yeah, getting money is tight.
yeah, that's really great. You can
Right.
do other cool shit.
Yeah, and I feel like now it would make it easier to kind of pick and choose your battles, even as like shooting weddings. Like, I mean, that'd be such an honor for some people to see your work and be able to obtain you to shoot like their most important day of their lives. You know, it's no different than an artist getting like a cover of a magazine or something.
Yeah, I think it's been super like humbling and interesting having people that are like fans of my work and me being able to like document that day with them. It's been a whole like another level of intimacy and like connection with people, you know,
Right.
like that are so grateful that I'm there and like want me to do whatever I want to do. Like, that's the ultimate dream, right? Like,
Yeah.
just go and capture what you want to capture.
That's
and
so
we're
dope.
gonna be stoked.
That's crazy. I remember, so Ben asked me to go on When I think when they went to Europe before the Kesha tour. Did you do that?
No, I just joined them
For
in
the
the US
Kesha
for
tour?
Kesha, yeah.
Damn, because I remember him asking me that and just to do video stuff, and I was like, oh cool, maybe I get to work with you just because I've seen all your stuff before or whatever. And I think working with the team now is I did Schoolboy Q's tour before, and it was just me doing all video and all photo.
Awesome.
And that was like a lot of work. You know what I mean?
That's too much. I've done those tours.
It's insane, and you just kind of get compiled with like so much to do, and especially on those shows when they can like do them every day, and you don't even start to see like any cities, or you go to a new place, you never get to experience. It's like super tough. But what's been like your typical workflow when you're on tour?
I'm generally, I learned really quick that you gotta like stay ahead of it. Like if you start getting piled up with work, like you're never gonna get out of it.
Right.
So I think it was, it depends on what Ben's doing, but I'm generally like have tabs on him throughout the day of what he's, if he's going shopping or riding his moped or if he's getting a haircut, like what are those moments that I can jump in on? And otherwise it's just kind of getting that pre-show photos up until after the show, and then I'm generally up until like 2 to 4 in the morning,
knocking them out,
and then sending a Dropbox of edited files.
Right. Do you feel did it kind of like, did they allow you to be creatively free, or did you have any limitations, or did they give you any like notes or ideas for like what they were hoping you'd capture, or is it just kind of like, let me just get in? I mean, you've been with them for so long, it kind of just probably grew. Yeah,
it's been a back and forth. It's definitely a learning curve of like understanding like even just ways that Ben is insecure of certain lighting, or like how to make him look the best in certain situations, or hey, I don't like, when my like feet look big in this image, like correct this. So yeah, it was definitely a learning curve of understanding like what he was seeing, and not taking it personally of like, oh, he didn't like these photos because I didn't take a good photo. It's way more, about him than about me. And then it's usually he likes to like show the shoes and like the fit, and like if he has a new jersey on, like there's priority, but I was pretty free to kind of capture whatever I wanted.
That's dope. Yeah, I remember he came when I was with Q. We were in Seattle, and this ongoing joke with me and him is that his real name is Ben Haggerty, which is my real name, and our spelling's just like off by like a G.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
That's so then there's always like this thrift shop joke back in like whenever it was. People would Facebook message me and be like, yo, your song's on the radio, and it just never ended. And then I was like, one day I gotta meet this dude and like tell him to just go by Macklemore because he's killing me over here.
Right.
Then he walked in when we were at the venue. He walked in, and I was like, oh, here it is. And I was trying to tell him, but he was like telling me like, yo, your videos are so sick, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, we have the same name. And I like pulled out my ID, and he just didn't understand he didn't get it.
Yeah.
I was like, now you know, bro. Like, it's killing me. You're too famous.
Right.
Just use one name, not two.
Right.
He seems like a very humble person to work with, and like creatively, I've always been inspired by him in the sense of like, I was just telling Dave, like his work on his music videos and everything that I feel like he just puts so much energy in every single element, which I could imagine with content rollout, he's doing the same amount. And I don't know, was it inspiring to you to be able to work under him versus, like you could have been with any other artist.
Right.
And I feel like you wouldn't have got the same, like, I don't know, creative collaboration.
Yeah. I think there's such a unique aspect to that whole camp is that, it is truly independent, and like he has a hand and a say and like a final direction of everything that's going on and everything that's being put out.
Right.
So, it's not just like, all right, go set the lights and make this video, like,
right.
He's 100% like, let's take this out, let's reshoot this, let's like tweak this, like, and it's exhausting, but I think it's a work ethic that I was always super inspired by, of course, and like try to imitate within my own, field of art.
Right. So when did you decide to move? When was that?
To Chicago?
Yeah.
I had never been, and then that first tour in 2013, we had a few days off in Chicago, and I met some friends through Ray Dalton, who sings on some of the main choruses, like Can't Hold Us. And I like just met this group of people and kind of fell in love, and was needing a change, and turning 21 and kind of like ready to get out of the nest.
Right.
So I packed up a U-Haul and drove out there.
Just went?
Yep.
Did you go to college for anything?
I went to Seattle Central Community College. They had like a really great commercial photography program at the time.
Oh, dope.
So I did a year of that, and then got a call about tour. And so I called my professor, like, I don't know what to do. Like, I would be missing some class. And he's like, you're an idiot if you don't drop out of school. Like, what are you doing?
That's insane.
Went on that and then never finished. But
Damn, so you never got that degree.
I know, it's really killing me.
Yeah, right. Do you feel like you were learning? How many months do you think you went to that? You went for a full year?
Yeah.
So was it a 2-year program or something? Oh, okay. So what do you feel like you were benefiting within the first year? Because I know that's a lot of like, especially with our listeners, it's like film school, photography school. Do I take these classes? Do I learn on my own? You know what I mean? Do you feel like you benefited?
I'm really glad it happened the way it did, because the first year is a lot more rudimentary, like very basic technical skills, where that just be like, basic types of portraiture lighting or certain ways of like adjusting your strobes and your fill light to get this certain effect. And so I definitely learned a lot technically, which really helped. And the second year I felt like was more about honing in on like your own style and building a body of work to then go pursue, which I'd already been doing for so long.
Yeah.
And I think that's really the downfall of art school, is that you can teach someone so much, but like the business of self-promotion and like hustling is something that really isn't, you can't really teach that.
Nah, at least not in like a year course with a couple months like directed towards it.
Yeah. I think maybe in a mentorship that's a lot more realistic.
You had already been working with your mentor prior to that? Mm-hmm. So then who linked you with your mentor? Did you just randomly trip on that?
He came into my photo class, and
oh really?
our teacher was pointed him in my direction because I was failing at the time.
Oops.
More of a, it's funny now, she still follows me on Instagram, but
really?
Yeah,
that's so tight.
I'm like, you were giving me an F for a minute.
Damn.
Yeah, that's
so crazy. I feel like, could you talk more about that? Like what do you feel like you gained the most out of your mentor in that time, aside from the connect to like Macklemore and Ryan Lewis?
I think just the self-confidence that it was a possibility, and like having someone constantly being on my side and on my team. Like, there's so many moments where you want to quit and it feels overwhelming, and you're not, you see these images in your head or on social media that you're aspiring to create, and you just don't have the skills and the practice to get to that level. And that's really frustrating for a lot of artists. Whether you hear a song or you see this painting, but you can't quite create it yet.
Right.
And there's such a that's a hump, right? And then once you finally hone in and have the skills to do that, you're able to, take more control of what the art that you're creating. But I think during that time that I just needed someone to just be like, no, you got this, like, you're good, like, what do you need help on, what are you stressed on?
So you're just shadowing them like when they would go do weddings and different video projects like that?
Yeah, I would help out on shoots, but a majority of it was sorting through images. So he'd shoot like 8,000 to 10,000 photos for a wedding, and I'd just get to click the button and star the best ones. Yeah. And I think that really honed in my eye, and that taught me so much in a very Mr. Miyagi way.
Right. Well, it's cool that he trusted you, to be able to look through and, I'm sure he looked at his selects too, but you're new to it and he's trusting you with this client. It shows a lot about him finding you and finding interest in you, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
So what was some of the first jobs that you got outside of touring? I know, you've worked with so many different clients now at this point, but it's one thing from working with an artist. I think that can expose you to a lot of other artists, obviously, and then sometimes brands are picking up on who's doing what for somebody. Did you connect to any brands or other artists through him, through him and word of mouth, or how'd you go about finding new clients?
Yeah, I think it was a really slow start. There was definitely a large group of Seattle artists that were, within his camp and that he was friends with and supporting, and I always tried to kind of be around that community and document as many artists that were in the come up as possible. But for the first part of my career, it was a lot of not fun things. Just babies and engagements and small shoots and senior portraits.
Right.
And I think there was brand stuff and bigger feeling jobs that sprinkled in, and it almost feels like you gotta fake it till you make it in those situations. And I for the most part, I felt like a kid with a camera, all right, I got this, and I have a team of people that are gonna make sure that I don't fail, but let's say yes first and figure out how to do it second.
100%. I love that. Do you remember any the shit that you wish you could have done completely differently in that early stage? Is there anything back then that you know now that you wouldn't have done?
I just remember this really bad shoot that was actually a friend of my mentor's, and he was either partnering with or investing in a company that was like a water that had some sort of electrolyte in it. So I had to do like product shots and then photos of like all the CFOs in like a group shot. And just the group shot is like, just there's a level of like confidence you need to have, like telling a group of 15 old businessmen like where to stand and like take a deep breath before you just are like, I got it. Yeah. And like there was, people's heads had to be photoshopped back on. God. And it was just like, it was not, they were like ultimately like, we can't use this image,
Oh, shit.
Like, shit.
Did you have to reshoot, or did they just figure it out?
I think they found someone else to reshoot, It
happens.
It's like those failures, you're like, damn, it made me feel so stupid, but like I learned so much from that.
Right. Damn. When you moved to Chicago, is that when you started kind of moving as like a freelance, like truly putting it out there that you're freelance? Because I mean, like that's a big move, and it's a big city, so it's not cheap, obviously, to live there. I don't know. Is Seattle expensive to live in?
Yeah, now it is.
Is it?
It's like San Fran prices.
Oh shit.
Amazon like moved in 10,000 people and pretty much resculpted the whole city.
God damn.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to stay there sometime. I felt like it'd be cool to live there. I like rain. I fucking love rain.
Yeah, me too. I miss the rain.
Yeah? Do you feel like you got more creative when it was raining?
I don't know. I mean, I do like a good excuse to like stay in and work for sure. I feel like LA, it's like too easy to just be cruising around outside in the sunshine. Or maybe you just don't even notice it anymore.
I don't know. I feel like I'm always so busy, or I try to stay so busy that I really never have. It sucks because I need to like definitely make more time to like just go to the beach. You forget that thing's like not far from here, like literally like less than 10 miles.
People are like surfing over there.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I know. I want to get into surfing. I feel like that could be a good little break in the day. I don't know.
I just met a girl that surfs every week. I was like, dang.
Every week?
Yeah.
She live there?
No, she lives like in Hollywood, but she'll drive to Venice every.
The traffic is just so shitty sometimes. It's like you have to really be down to sit in your car for like an hour and a half or something, like so brutal. Okay, but anyway, Chicago. You get to Chicago. What were some of the first few things that you were doing to like leverage yourself as a business and like grow your business as a freelancer?
I pursued kind of shooting more models and like reaching out to those agencies and trying to get like test shots, and because it felt like something that was fun, was still like building my portfolio with a more refined look, but I could get paid $250, for the day. Right. I mean, yeah, I think it was definitely a slow progression. There was just like random jobs. My friend he did social media for like a big food group in the city. Word. So I would do like events and like shoot
like
people
recap
eating
stuff.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Right. Was the model thing, were you trying to do studio stuff, or is that just like walk around the city, shoot the model, try to find different looks that way?
Yeah, I think it was a combination of both. I was finding some spaces to kind of shoot some natural light studio-esque stuff, but I didn't have like a set studio I was working out of at the time.
Right. So was it hard going on tour again after you moved to Chicago?
No, I don't think so.
Not really?
I think it always feels like a little homey, like going back to tour.
Right.
It is such a like different mindset and like such an easy lifestyle once you're back in it, and kind of like life at home sort of dissipates for a bit.
Totally.
Because you feel like a kid again. Like you have someone driving you where you need to be and like waking you up, and you have like food 3 times a day, and there's not a lot of like things to think about.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
It's so organized.
Yeah, you're just like, this is the time I need to be here doing this.
My least favorite thing about tour is the idea that it does feel like life is like completely paused outside of whatever's happening in that world. That's like the only thing that matters to you. Yeah. So how do you deal with like clients or people that are back home that are trying to hire you for other things or projects that you could potentially have, but you chose to leave for tour, and like from tour life, from everything I experienced, it's not like the pay is like insane. Yeah. So it's like, how do you find the balance or set it up so that you can kind of like parlay that tour into getting you more jobs when you get home, or vice versa? Like, do you have? Yeah,
I mean, I've been pretty lucky. I don't think there's been a ton of like overlap where there was a big job that I guess it's more so like jobs I've already booked, like weddings. I've had a few like weddings that either I had to fly out for a 1 out from tour and then come back, or that I had to like have someone cover and like try to find someone to do the date. Right. Because I was going to be in Europe at the time. Yeah. But yeah, I haven't had a ton that I've had to like. There was one tour that I couldn't shoot, which was a bummer because of a wedding. Right. But yeah, I usually don't have any like issues with that, surprisingly.
Damn.
But the tours I'm going on now are only like a month or 2 months. So it's, not a crazy amount of the year.
Have you toured with anyone else besides them?
No, I haven't.
Really? Would you
not
want to?
Full time? Yeah, definitely. I would love to start working with more female artists too. I think that's been like a focus of mine for a while.
Who's on the hit list?
Halsey's like top of the hit list for sure.
She'd be a hard show to shoot. I feel like she's so nuts. Like on stage, it'd be sick. It would like not hard, like difficult. Like
yeah, totally.
Look dope.
Yeah.
And I think I just saw what'd she just do? What was her last music video that she just did?
Nightmare.
Yeah, that shit was insane.
So good.
It was so good.
Yeah.
So crazy. That'd be dope.
Yeah, I just love that energy. I think, and Ben really brings that energy to the stage. And I mean, I like enjoy watching his show every time, and I've seen it 400 times. But I think it's at a certain point, it's time to move on and like
shoot something else.
Shoot something else.
Right.
Yeah.
You got like 5,000 of the same.
I mean, yeah, I've shot every angle of every moment. I think it's pretty much covered.
Where have all of you gone on tour? Is it U.S., Europe, anywhere else?
Yeah, we've just done U.S. and Europe, a little bit of Canada.
Nice. Did he have shows in like Mexico or something that looked insane? Was that recently? I feel like I saw him.
Yeah, like a week.
Yeah.
Run or like festivals in Mexico.
Right. Have you? I know you did the Rolling Stone. Was that what it was? So was that they reached out because you already had the photo, or did you? Was that like we need this photo shot? Do you have someone that can do it?
Yeah. No, they already reached out, and I already had the photos.
Sick.
From a recent shoot, but yeah.
Layup shit.
It was great.
That's fucking dope, though.
I was like, yeah, might as well.
Do you have that thing framed?
Hell yeah, I have that thing framed.
Did you buy like 10 of them?
No, I wish. I only have the one. So
damn.
It's like the fire starts blazing, I'm running for that thing.
How's it feel having that's such a, it's funny because it's like, that is like old media now. You know what I mean? Like, whereas now we're all about Instagram and quick things and it just comes and goes. But like, I feel like seeing a physical magazine, like the shit that's been on you go to the dentist, it's probably there. You know what I mean? It's everywhere. How's that feel? Like, how does that feel to have that happen?
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, you can't really explain it. It feels so like, so tactile and like a finished, complete project.
Yeah.
And I know there was an American Way, like the American Airline or Alaskan Way, Alaskan Airlines, their magazine. And like being on a plane and just seeing like rows of my photo was just the weirdest thing.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Does it? I mean, what's coming up? Like, what was your family like? Were any of them creatives? No,
I come from like a pretty like intellectual family. So my mom is a nurse, and my dad does like research, analysis, data, statistics stuff.
My mom's a nurse too.
Know. Okay.
Swag.
Yes.
Tight.
Yeah.
So, was it like for them when they see like to have your like just that? I feel like that's just such a pinnacle moment for everyone, or maybe sometimes like. A lot of family members don't understand exactly what it is until some shit like that happens.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, like, oh my God, she has the cover on the thing.
Right.
Like,
yeah, I'm trying to think of like the first time that I felt like my parents were like, okay, we're not like worried about you right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it was pretty quick. The first tour I did, it was when the year of the Grammys, when they needed like press, where Ben and Ryan were the head of most like Grammys campaigns, and so like I had a photo that was literally like on buses, and we stayed in LA for the Grammys, and I looked out my window and saw it on a billboard, like,
so
and
crazy.
I was like 21, just like geeked out, like
so wild.
Yeah, I think my parents were like, all right, we'll leave you alone.
Jesus Christ. I mean, I know in Chicago, there's like I feel like there's a community of creatives. What's Jason Peterson's collective? What's that called?
Oh damn it.
Dave, do you know what it's called? Can't think of it at all.
I should remember.
But is there like a whole, I don't know, I feel like there's a niche community of creators from Chicago that kind of like roll together.
Totally.
What can you talk about that a little bit? Like what's that like out there? Because I feel like it's like so widespread, you know what I mean? Like everyone lives in all these different spots and no one's really connecting. Like I see people connect in Chicago. Like I feel like there's always like meetups and seminars and like random shit that's going on over there. And then whatever his new company is that he started.
Yeah, dang it, I should know. Yeah, I mean, you definitely... We Are the Times.
We Are the Times.
Yeah.
Tight.
Yeah, you definitely run into the same people. I think, it's a combination of content creators. And there's also, like, I mean, Havas is the company that Jason came from. And so there's a lot of, like, rappers or photographers or graphic designers that are even coming from working at Havas as, like, full-time...
Right.
People from that company. And then they'll quit and, like, start doing their freelance gig. But I think it's that... There's a pretty, like, it's a wide group, but everyone knows who everyone is.
Right. Do you ever end up collaborating with these people like out there? Is there a lot of collaboration between the artists in Chicago? And I know I saw you post pictures of Vic. Like, does he still live in Chicago?
He's in LA now.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah.
But have you worked with a lot of the Chicago like rap scene there too?
Yeah. It's been that's been on my list. I've done a lot of stuff with like Saba Pivot and like his brother and Vic and Chance and Joey Perp. I think they're all so tight knit, and like that hip hop rap community is very, all one big group of friends that came up together.
Right.
So I think that's like the hub of it, and then you have people around that group that are meeting each other and collaborating. But I think a lot of the like my assistants or like people that I'm working with or kind of like mentoring are all in that same path and group together. Yeah.
So do you go to a lot of the shows that are there? You do? Do you shoot all of them, or you just gotta go? I try to. Yeah.
I have a hard time watching shows and not shooting them.
Yeah, it's addicting.
It's like I'm just like, oh, those lights are pretty. Like,
I need to get this.
Yeah, I need to get this for something. I don't know.
You're just like running around with your phone, wishing you had.
It's so obnoxious.
I know.
And
What's like? I don't know. I guess what's been like one of the biggest challenges living in Chicago, especially being like a female photographer. Like I just had, do you know who Ravy B is? Raven? So she was just on here like 2 days ago or whatever, and I was talking to her about the difference in it. I was curious to hear like what your opinion is, because I just feel like it's such a male driven, same with rap, all that shit. It's always, but now you see there's way more Cardi B's popping up. There's way more, all these artists, Halsey, like people like that are popping up, and I feel like it's the same way in the photography game. What's your opinion on it?
Yeah, I think it's like definitely a negative and a positive. I think I grew up in a place where I never was like, felt like my gender was going to affect anything, and I'm really blessed by that. But there's been like situations where I've heard back that I was like referred for a job and they asked like if there were any male photographers. And, like things like that, I'm not like, they're not in my face, so I'm not having to deal with them. But I'm sure it's, it's affected jobs I'm getting and opportunities I have and respect I'm being given. But I think there's also this, as you said, like wave of people wanting to, even the playing field and kind of like support, females and people of color and queer people in the community. And so like Nike, I get to shoot a lot of like women's sport groups with them because I'm a female photographer, and there's like actively brands searching for that.
That's dope.
So I think it's, there's a give and take, and I'm definitely like getting jobs because I am a female in some senses.
Right. Yeah, I feel like it's so weird because you think like, even in like rap and shit, like for Ben and them to take you on tour, I could see a lot of rappers choosing not to do that just because like, well, it's a girl and we only have one bus and that's weird. But it's like, it doesn't, like everyone's there to put in work. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't ever make sense why someone wouldn't choose that. But I can see a lot of people leaning to make that decision just because it's easier, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's always the boys club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So weird.
There's a lot of people that are not very talented that are getting jobs that should be given up people that are shooting way better images. So true.
What's up with the Nike thing though? Like, so did they reach out to you originally? Because I know Raven was doing that as well. She was shooting a lot of stuff for Nike. But what all are the opportunities that they're kind of like providing you?
Yeah, I originally they reached out. I shot an event for them, and I don't know, a women's only event, and they're doing a lot more of those.
What do you mean, like?
Just like focused on like female empowerment, and, like forces female, and like that, the aspect of just like Women's World Cup is a big thing for this year, and kind of supporting female athletes and female artists. And then I was, shooting an event and saying I really would love to do more editorial, like portrait stuff, like let me have at it and try it, and I did a campaign for Forces Female and kind of been, on their roster and shooting a few like larger campaigns during the year, and then dope. Smaller, I'll shoot events, or they flew me out as an influencer. I hate that word.
Hey.
To LA this year for, soccer stuff. So it's been a combination of a lot of different kinds of opportunities, and it feels very like family and home, and it's been a great company to work with.
Yeah, that's crazy. Hey guys, I wanted to stop this interview real quick with Zoe Rain to tell you about the How to Charge a Client guide. By purchasing one of these, you will not only help us keep our lights on at home, but you will also set yourself up to make more money when charging your clients. People ask me all the time how to charge to go on tour, how to charge for any random gig, how to shoot any music video, what should I charge? I get asked that shit a million times. We decided to take a few weeks and really compile all the theories and ideas and practices that I use on a personal basis and have used for the last 10 years. And I've definitely made a few shortcuts for you guys in this than some of the things I've had to do. But the goal is to help you make some more money. So if you want to check that out, it is available on shopbwnc.com. You can get it there, or you can get it on our Patreon page and get a couple extra perks too if you want to do that. So shopbwnc.com or patreon.com/BlackWindowCream. Go check it out. Help yourself. All right, cool. Let's get back to this episode. Was the influencer thing to work or just to be chilling?
We were just chilling, I guess. I was trying to work. I was like, brought my camera, like, let me do something. But yeah, we just watched the women's national team play their playoffs here. That was in LA? Mm-hmm. Oh, dope. Where's that? Is that a cool arena that they have set up for that? The new one, yeah. I don't remember what it's called. I remember flying in one day and I saw it and I was like, what the fuck is that? I had no idea that they even built that. Yeah. Are you a huge soccer fan? Now I am. I'm more of a support of the team. Right. But yeah, it's been fun to like see their journey and just learning more about, the pay inequality and how, Women's World Cup in the past has never even been, nobody watches that shit. Right. And now it's like going to a sports bar and seeing like a bunch of dudes like screaming at the girls. I'm like, fuck yeah. No, that's dope. It's a step. The place we had brunch at the other day they had like a whole billboard thing just for that, so people come back at like 9 a.m. Who won today? U.S. Tight. Yeah. So when's the finals? Is it? I don't know. We have semifinals on Friday with France, and then I think it's the last one after that. That's tight. We were in Paris when they had for the World Cup for men's, and it was the final game, whatever the fuck that shit's called, the end, the finale. The finale. Big shebang. Yeah, but it was sick because they were playing. We were in France. We were in Paris for the show, and then they like opened up the venue earlier, and so everyone like came into the stadium like beforehand in the afternoon and watched the whole show. It was like the most insane thing I've ever experienced. I can't imagine. It like felt like we were there. It was so crazy. People were like going bananas with their the flags and all that stuff. Soccer fans are something else for sure. It is. Have you ever gone to one like when you're on tour in Europe or anything like that? No, I haven't. That's like a goal. I feel like that would be the craziest, I don't know, just experience, because those people go nuts. Like they fight people and they burn stuff. Yeah, I want to see some fighting. Yeah, I want to see some fire, like just fireworks going off in the stadium, and it's just okay. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. Right. What's I mean, it's really dope that Nike is doing all that. Is there any other brands that you've noticed that are doing similar things, or has that really been the only like standout for you? I mean, I think a lot of brands are doing that now, and even just with like Pride Month, you can see it pretty blatantly. Yeah. That whether or not, people are just trying to like support maybe it's just supporting what's popular, or maybe it's truly like sticking with it. I don't really care what the motive is either way. Like they're doing something. Yeah, visibility in any sort of way, or diversifying, their models or their message is great. But yeah, I mean, there's a ton of cool brands doing that stuff. Nike's my only one I'm going to shout out today. But that's because you're an influencer. Yeah. Brand #ad. Is it? What would you say is like some of your favorite like jobs that you've done to date at this point? Like, what are some of the standouts for you? I think, I just recently did a Wolverine boots campaign, which was with Vic, which is, I think, like commercial shoots for like streetwear clothing, or like, anything like that where I'm able to be creative and like shoot an artist or musician in a creative way that, is, yes, it's an ad, but like, it's creating the kind of images I want to, and like has a budget, and that's, the ideal goal for me for sure. How did you go about like planning this, like for specifically since we're on it and I like looking at this photo, like the shot of him sitting in the chair like this and shit, so hard. Is that, do you know what I'm talking about? In the red? With the red? No, he's in this jacket. He's got like this. Oh, word, yeah. How did you go about like planning this campaign? Was it like one day of shooting and then you only have a few hours with the talent, or was it did the client come to you with the artist attached? Yeah, they had like a creative team and an agency kind of helping oversee it, and had a general like idea of, we want half of this done on backdrops, and then half of it like on different kinds of textures, and we need this many photos total. But they're pretty open as far as creative ideas, and I kind of like assembled a team and had like prop ideas and wardrobe ideas, and then scouted out locations and Shot that at a low-res studio, which is a really rad space, kind of a collaborate spot for artists and
That's cool.
people, in the city, and has some cool like train tracks and grungy stuff outside.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Was it how big of a crew do you usually like? What does your crew look like when you do photo shoots typically?
Ones that I've been doing this year that are a little bigger. I usually have 2 or 3 like photo assistants with helping with lighting and kind of grip and just anything that I need, and then like a digitech who's looking at images, looking at my focus, kind of like cataloging and backing up things and making sure all the files are in place.
Right.
And then obviously like wardrobe and hair and makeup, and that's about it. Some like BTS video. We had a videographer on set for that as well.
Nice. How important do you feel like it is to have BTS of stuff like that for you?
I mean, I love it. I think it's important, and it gets, as far as involvement and engagement, like that's, people always want to see the behind the scenes stuff, and I think that's what is really interesting for people to kind of learn something and see like how, not only to see the image, but to like take a step back and look at the whole scene and the scenario.
And I feel like sometimes people think that, like this shot of Vic, like some people might just look at it and be like, oh, she just walked in a room and he sat down, and then they don't understand what it takes to like create the light for that room or design the way it should look or anything that goes into it. And being able to see that, I think, adds depth to the people that don't have depth built into them. You know what I mean?
That's a good point. Right. It's not just like I took an iPhone photo on like...
Exactly.
Yeah.
But a lot of people think that shit is really how it goes down, which is crazy, including clients, which is weird. I've noticed that a lot where people are just like...
can you just do this? I'm like, do you know how much setup that took for that? Yeah.
Do you feel like that's frustrating, like dealing with like...
That's been like definitely an issue for me with certain clients, and like even especially I'm shooting more stuff for like some weed companies. And so that kind of, when it overlaps with product and lifestyle in the same shoot, I think there's a little bit of a misunderstanding of how, what it takes to shoot this up close tight product shot that's lit from like all these different angles, very set up, and then to be like, and then just shoot like a lifestyle shot. You can't really go back and forth very easily. And so it's been a learning experience of kind of how do I balance that and find a way to deliver without being like that's not possible, right? Because you gotta make a way to make it possible.
Because I feel like you're right, and I feel like that's a challenge that a lot of people face once they get into those situations where they like they say we want this one deliverable, but then on set they surprise you with like 6 more that you didn't know, like,
oh, by the way, just do these 3 hot hit shots and then like turn the backdrop white. I'm like, that's easier said than done. I can't just Photoshop it. Right. That's my favorite line.
Just Photoshop it. Just like paint it or do it and fix it in post. Yeah. How long does it take you to usually like turn around the photos, like when you go through and actually start like retouching and doing whatever you do? What's your process for that?
I think I have a pretty fast editing turnaround. I don't like to like get super nitty gritty and like tweaking hues and tones and all that. But I've tried to kind of like slow it down and really provide less images as an option to be retouched, and then provide less final images that I do retouch, just so that I can spend a little bit more time on each shot instead of delivering 200 batch edited images that I'm not necessarily looking at, super closely. Right. So I think, just lessening my deliverables has been helpful in my editing process.
Do you have a young Zoe that looks through all of your raw images and picks out your selects?
Sometimes when they're available. But it's hard to like keep people interested in that job. Yeah. And I've been there and done it, and it's not fun, but but it's helpful.
When you go into the process of like working for, you worked for the Bulls, you shot stuff for them. I'm just going through your site. You saw that this shot of what's his name, the Seattle Mariners dude.
Oh, Ichiro.
Yeah, with the flash and the bat. That shot's so hard.
Oh yeah, I was stoked on that.
What was that for?
That was actually, I was assisting for my mentor who shot like all of the Mariners press shots, and his images are like on the magazine and in the field and all that. And then I was able to kind of collaborate and help. I mostly like did grip and lighting for him, and set up strobes, and then he'd kind of let me sneak in and like
snag a few,
be creative and have fun.
That's dope. What about like the Bulls? Did they reach out to you for that?
Yeah, so the Bulls, they work with a lot of local photographers and kind of have like takeovers. So I was able to like come in for a game and like take over their Instagram and shoot. And,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, it was great.
That's
They're
super
like
tight.
super chill and come in before the game and shoot, players warming up and all that.
Do you feel like shooting athletes, like in that element, is similar to shooting artists?
Definitely.
Like live performance?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like my like music experience totally trickled over into sports super easily, and even just how I like set up shoots and light people in like a sports setting is very similar to how I would light an artist in like a very dramatic and moody, dark way.
Right.
And it's almost like very cinematic and grand, right? Like you want to make them look cool and like a god.
Yeah.
Right? And that's so I think it's been an interesting turn. I would have never expected to get into sports stuff, but I've really enjoyed dabbling with it for sure.
Do you have like more in the pipeline for things that you want to do at the athletes? Especially obviously with Nike kind of pushing you in that direction.
Yeah, I mean, Nike stuff is great, and I think anything more like movement based has been fun to explore. I just did like a campaign for a 9-round. It's like a boxing gym.
Oh, dope.
Chain.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm open to that for sure and exploring.
Is weed legal in Chicago?
It just was put on the ballot, so on the 1st of January, it's recreationally legal.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's big steps.
So when you were doing those campaigns, were those in Chicago or?
They were, and I actually just got my medical card.
So you can have a medical card right now?
Mm-hmm. And I think once it's legal, the tax rate is like 30% if it's recreational and like 5% if it's medical.
Oh, shit.
Something crazy like that.
Right.
So.
I don't know how. I don't smoke weed, never have.
Oh.
So I don't know too much about it, but I just didn't know if your weed company in Chicago was
it was all by the books.
That's tight.
Totally legal.
I know. I mean, there's a lot of people. I'm trying to think of the company that's out here that's like a Chicago or LA brand, but I know there's a lot of photographers that have been doing some like super tight shit with. I mean, you can make product stuff become really, really fun if that's like not your forte, if that's like not what you live to do. But what's like a piece of advice you give to someone that's getting into product photography?
I mean, I think be different.
Yeah.
I think there's so many like just boring on white catalog shit, and I think when you see something shot in a really unique way, whether that's an alcohol bottle or clothing that is something that's unique and different, or has some sort of aspect of like a kicker light that you would put in a portrait, but you treat that product as like a portrait.
Right.
I think that's what anything that's catching someone's eye is super important nowadays.
Yeah.
With anything, but
I feel like it's a good way to get into. I mean, for a lot of people that listen to us, maybe from small towns in Iowa, like I was, and I feel like that is one avenue that you can pursue and start playing with to learn, because I don't think people understand that could pay you a lot of money if you keep kind of following that lane.
I don't even understand that, to be honest.
What?
Product photography?
How people like make a living off of it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I know there's just mad people. Like my friend Justin, he shot for Macklemore. He shot for Mac Miller forever. Like he did all of his touring until he passed. And then when he was kind of like after Mac passed, we were talking and trying to like, what's he gonna do next? And he's like, I want to keep working for artists, but he like low key started working with a bunch of restaurants in the area doing product photography. And he just keeps like he says it's like addicting. Like he's just like finding ways to push it to another level as far as like how to make this beer look cool. How do you make this whiskey look? Food is got to be like the hardest shit to shoot, just because it's like, I don't remember who was telling me. It was like when they did Hot Pockets commercials, it was like they'd have hundreds of Hot Pockets because you only had like 30 seconds to make it look authentic when it came out of the oven or something like that.
Yeah, totally. Food shoots are fun because you'll literally just have trays and trays of like
sushi,
hot dog buns or whatever. Yeah, and it's like someone's like looking at each individual sesame seed, and then like it all has to be put together perfectly. Or like shooting. I've done a lot of shoots. I was sponsored by Jameson for the year, so
That's
I would
dope.
do like a social post about Jameson once a month, which is great.
Yeah.
And then like some stuff for Budweiser, and I just remember shooting beer. It's like you only have 20 seconds while it's like losing its foam.
Right.
And then it looks just gross on a table,
Yeah.
So food is definitely like so difficult for me, for sure.
So when you do like the Jameson thing, you said for like the whole year, was it just like, hey, we want you to create different images for social throughout the whole year? Or?
Yeah, they had a campaign called Love Thy Neighborhood, basically just bringing it home to like small town local distilleries and breweries and like mom and pop dive bars and just kind of like looking for those local gems that are serving Jameson and kind of, putting a spotlight in that instead of
cool.
like, chain bars and whatever. So yeah, I kind of just like explored different locations and then kind of highlighted that each month, a new spot that I found or liked.
So for like the journalism side of like, because I feel like that's kind of a main part of what you do aside from like branded stuff. It's like you, even starting with Macklemore, it's like your job is to like document this in image, right? On your website you had something that was you had traveled to some places. It's loading right now.
I've done Cambodia, and then I've been to Kenya and Togo, Africa.
What was your goal for those trips, or why did you go there?
So that was with a nonprofit. There's a 30/30 project, which was started by Ryan Lewis's mom.
Cool.
She was diagnosed with HIV
Right.
lived for 30 years when she was, told that she wasn't going to make it 3 to 5 years. And so her goal was to build 30 clinics, throughout third world nations or spaces that needed, funding and infrastructure. And so I've documented a few of those. They built a school in Cambodia, and then in Togo, West Africa, they built a maternity clinic, and same in Kenya.
Wow.
So yeah, that was a great opportunity to just like do what I love to do. I mean, you're in a beautiful space and
The other side of the world.
yeah, capturing beautiful people.
What, did you ever face any challenges like going over there shooting that you wouldn't maybe, I don't know. I was just in South Africa too, and it was like culturally like going around with cameras and how we had to get around was just so different than what I was used to.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, it's definitely it's a unique situation where most people have not had their photo taken, or it's not people aren't out with their iPhones taking selfies all the time.
Yeah.
And so it can be a really like bonding experience and a really great way to connect human beings that don't necessarily speak your language, but you're immediately able to take an image and show them the back of your camera and like have a completely like genuine human connection.
So cool.
Without having to say any words.
Are you planning on going anywhere else in the future for stuff like that?
I mean, I'm always open to it, and like there's a few, Hope Through Health is another organization that I shot with that I might go back to Togo, and I wanted to do a project where I brought them back like prints of the portraits I took of them and like document,
That'd be so cool.
them having those and seeing those.
That'd be so dope.
But, yeah.
It is crazy to think of like some of these countries literally do not have or never have had their photo taken.
Right. And it's like there's not even like mirrors or not, it's not a part of the bathroom setup. Like it really is a less vain culture, of course. And
So crazy.
yeah.
Have you heard of Hope for the Day?
Mm-mm.
They're out of Chicago. We had them on here early on in the podcast, but it's a nonprofit for like suicide prevention. And they just opened up a coffee shop. You should check it out because I want to check it out. You
Hope
should
for
let
the
me know
Day?
if it's good. Hope for the Day, and they open up a coffee shop somewhere. I'll find it in Chicago and send it to you. But everything that gets bought there gets donated.
Love
so
that.
it's like completely ran by,
Yeah.
supporters of the cause and stuff like that. But it seems it's like a really, really cool thing. Obama shouted him out just recently,
Nice.
which is pretty dope.
Love that.
I know. Have you ever shot him?
I haven't. It's on the list.
That'd be so sick.
Yeah. That would be.
I met him once, but I didn't. I shot him, but it's not out. But it was like, I was like,
You
oh
gotta
shit.
You sign the rights away on that.
Yeah, to Beyonce. But it was like, he just, I don't know. We heard his voice come around the corner.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and he was like, hey fellas, and he like shook our hands and shit, and I was just like, this is so dope. Like,
That's surreal.
it's so iconic. It's like the coolest voice in the world.
Yeah. I mean, I have major crush on him for sure. A lot of feelings would be going through my head that time.
He was supposed to watch the show. Michelle watched the show, and she was like in the pit, and it was sick just because I was like standing by her like trying to get footage, and she's just like jamming out to like Jay-Z and shit. And B would come over and she's just like all about it. And then he was supposed to come down, but then they ended up like, I think they didn't want to cause like a scene.
He had like something to do or
No, he went. He just
important.
watched it from a box.
Oh,
like
okay.
instead of like coming down to be in the like, because I just
I'd
don't
be
think.
surprised if he was. Yeah, I'm surprised she was in the pit. That seems.
I know, it was crazy. It was so
Security
sick.
measure,
They
yeah.
just like pulled up. It was so dope. It was like the weirdest thing because they like came out of our green room, and the Jonas Brothers walked out too. So it was like Michelle, the Jonas Brothers, their daughters, and I was just like, what the fuck is going
Yeah,
on?
weird mosh podge.
Yeah, it
of
was
people.
super wild. Anyway, who else is on your hit list of people that you'd want to shoot, celebrity wise?
Oh my God. I mean, I feel like there's so many. Damn.
And why?
I mean, Kid Cudi's like always up there.
Same.
Just no reason I need to give for that.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. Frank Ocean, like Brockhampton, I'm just like, I vibe on so much. So they're always, I don't even know how many of them there are, but I would love to shoot them.
Right. I think there's like four dudes.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
I can handle that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot of like, it's generally musicians that I'm fans of and want to capture.
I want to shoot Slipknot. Be sick.
That sounds like fun.
We just like produced something for them, but I didn't. It was like one of the guy's daughters, but they just like revealed their new masks. They're from Iowa, so it's like
okay.
So there's a thing
Hometown
there.
heroes.
Yeah, for sure. It's like the coolest. I like in movies. I'm just like drawn to the bad guy that's like wearing some sort of mask, like Dark Knight shit. You know what I mean? Like I don't know why, and then them performing like that is so wild to me. Like to like just create this new I don't know. It's just artistic to me in my
I love a good costume design for sure. Costume and set design.
How was it like shooting Kesha?
It was great. I mean, she's stunning, and like her costumes are gorgeous and wild, and yeah, she's a lot of fun. It was definitely that was like a good taste into like shooting females, and I think after that point I was like, I definitely want to get on a full tour.
What do you think is the difference in shooting men and women, like capturing them when it comes to like, I mean, you learn quick, like when people know what they like about themselves and what they don't like about themselves. It's kind of interesting learning about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely a way more sensitive just experience overall with women and being, you know, celebrities in some sort of spotlight, let alone just being a normal woman in the spotlight of your life. Like, it's, you know, you want to make women look good and be like cognizant of that. And I think I've noticed that a lot, being like photographed by men versus women. Yeah, I think that it can be something that is a little bit of a blindside for men shooting women, of like understanding, you know, why a girl would not like that image of themselves, and they're just like, she looks great. Like, yeah. And I think there's just a level of like understanding and relevance of another woman documenting a woman and kind of being there to like put them in the best light. Right.
Yeah, that's super key. What is in your camera bag? What do you like to shoot with? I saw Nikon. You still shoot with Nikon?
Yeah.
Yeah? Why Nikon?
I just started out with that and haven't really needed to switch over. I've had the same camera since I started.
Oh, shit.
So it works, why fix it?
Yeah, true.
It's a Nikon D810, and then I have a Mod Podge of lenses, but 70-200 and a 24-70 for shows. And then for portraits, I'll usually do a fixed. So I have 85 and a 35 and a 50.
Are you always using your own lenses, or do you find yourself like renting certain glass for shit?
No, I have a pretty good collection of lenses. I sometimes have to rent a wide angle because I always end up like putting those on a road case and losing them.
Right. Worse.
Yeah, the worst.
What? So you just have the one camera? Do you ever bring like, so when you're shooting a show, do you have anything to hold your, like to be able to switch your lenses back and forth?
I shoot with two sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'll usually just have a bag that I'm switching out on, but I got a lot of dusty sensors for sure. Right.
I know, it's like the worst. Me and him always have this conversation about ways to like, if we had like a fanny pack with like one lens, but then you have to change it and then shit's getting in there and then you're noticing like the dust all over someone's face in the shot. It's like the worst.
Yeah, I'm not very nice to my gear. It's a bad habit.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that.
It's just like the rush of the show. You're like, nothing else matters.
Right.
It's like, I'll fucking fix that later. Like, I don't have time to put a lens cap on.
What was the biggest show you've shot, you think? Just people in the shit wise.
Yeah, I think like some festivals in Europe. I don't remember exactly what they were. I mean, like the Bonnaroo was a really big one.
That would been sick.
Like, I don't even know.
So many people.
It's like, I don't even know the number of 50,000 people or something. I mean, you just can't. There's no
just
end
like
to
goes like that.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Yeah, and that was actually a good one because there was thunder and lightning. So we had to like the last, like the finale of the show, you like heard this big boom and everyone's
so
like,
sick.
You got to get the hell out of here.
They had to cancel it?
They had to totally evacuate the whole scene, but
damn.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. I'm like, where are all these people going to go?
We had that at the New York Giants Stadium or something. And it was, it was like hailstorms were coming.
no.
And it was like right before we went on, and they had to evacuate the entire. Like that was the craziest thing to watch. It actually happened so quick. I couldn't have been more
it's
impressed.
Fascinating.
There's like, and everyone was gone. I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? There's like 70,000 people in there.
Yeah.
It was like so wild. Damn, that sucks that they got to come back and enjoy the show. We just had to wait longer.
Right.
But
That's good.
that would have been dope to get a little lightning shot behind.
I mean, yeah, that's ideal.
That'd be sick.
That's like the one thing I'm trying to capture is lightning.
I have to show you a clip. Actually, Justin, the dude that did all Mac stuff, he does like a lot of landscape stuff in Pittsburgh, and he was out trying. He always chases lightning and has the most insane video. A lightning struck like right next to him.
Oh my god!
It is the craziest shit.
That's my worst nightmare.
He has the shot. He has everything. It's insane. It's so wild.
He doesn't have a right arm, but he's good.
Yeah, he lost his arm.
He's a
but
little tweaky now.
Hopefully, he can sell that photo for a few $1,000s to make up the hospital bills.
Jeez.
What's next in the books for you? What's your biggest plans for the next like 5 years? What's your goal?
I mean, I think moving down to LA would be high on that list. But yeah, just continuing building kind of a team and, maybe having like a manager and more of a solid, like maybe being able to hire some employees and really kind of build on the infrastructure that I have. But I think LA is like the main focus right now.
Tight. That's dope. Well, I appreciate you coming and doing this podcast. This was fun.
For sure. Thank you.
We always do this thing at the end so I let you pick like if someone listened to this all the way through and we want to know about it. So I tell them to go to your Instagram and comment on your last photo whenever they're listening to this. It might be like 6 months from now, whatever. Tag me at Ben Rovers World, and then they're gonna put this hashtag that you're about to come up with right now, so that we know that they made it this far. Anything you want.
Shit. Hashtag make it rain.
Okay, that's tight. Do you use that already?
That's like a joke, like password I have for things, but
Yeah, don't try it on her AIM
there's other
account.
things in there. Yeah.
All right, hashtag make it rain. All right, sweet. So I'm gonna switch over. We're gonna do the Patreon Q&A thing that I was telling you about, the Q&A experience. So if you want to hear that, patreon.com/blackwithnocream. All right, thank you very much for doing this. How do you want them to follow you if they do?
Just look up at Zoe Rain Photo or ZoeRainPhoto.com.
Take a look at our website. That shit's great. And Instagram, it's the same thing. You got some good stuff in there.
Thanks.
Cool. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you.
All right, tight. That's it for episode 102 with Zoe Rain. Shout out to Zoe for swinging through the studio and hopping on the show. Follow her on Instagram. Her stuff is incredible. Make sure to submit or set an alarm for tomorrow, August 5th, 7 p.m. Pacific time. BWNC.DutchBros.com. That is a sign up for the next contest, our final contest with Dutch Bros, flying you to Las Vegas if you win. So I'm telling you right now, make a little note on your phone, write it on your hand, do whatever you want to do, tattoo it on your finger. I don't give a fuck. If you want this contest to be something that you compete in, make sure you set a reminder. That's it. If you want to hear this Q&A experience that I did with Zoe, it is available on our Patreon page, patreon.com/blackwithnocream. When you go there, you sign up, you join and become a member. You not only get like all the awesome perks, but you get to hear that Q&A experience. So definitely tune in and check that out. And that's it. Hope you guys have a good week. We'll see you on Wednesday with another morning roast. Cool. Bye.